Hello, 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 and good morning. My name is Mika, and welcome to Mika Unpacked. Welcome to the first episode of Mika Unpacked. I am here to talk about me, and hopefully somebody out there can relate. That's all I can say. I have a lot of things to say, and just to be clear, it is my opinion, and um, sorry, I'm messing with this. Uh, mic. But anyway, it's my opinion. I would love to hear everybody else's. Don't come for me. Like I said, you know how what they say about opinions. And just, you know what? And it's my perspective on a lot of things. Mom things, mostly mom things, because I am a mother. I am a Mika first. And then I am a mom of two wonderful children. My youngest is six. And then I have an older son. So both of them are boys. So I have two sons. So I'm just here to kind of talk to you about what's going on with me. Maybe somebody can relate, um, or you can give me some advice. I don't know if I want advice. Just tell me, your experience, not necessarily advice. Um, Good advice. I mean, I'm open. I'll take it. Whatever, just bring it, But like I said, I'm just kind of here to I wanted to come on here and just speak about some things that I'm going through, things that I see, um, and just have a conversation with my people, with my moms, single dads, even if you're not single, couples, whatever, parents, whoever sees that they can relate. Or maybe you'll hear something that you're like, hey, maybe I need to try that. So let me see what she's talking about. You know, for some reason, I always feel the need to tell you what time it is when I'm recording. It is morning time where I'm at. I live in Kansas City, Missouri. Like I said, I have two children, two wonderful boys. Um, and I'm just a single mom trying to live my life, trying to navigate life. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. So, here we go. Today, I want to talk about, um, I got a lot going on, good and not bad, just transitioning. So, today, I want to talk about the thing that I've been doing lately, and that is um, working on a closer relationship with God. And so, just to give you a little bit of background, I didn't grow up in the church. My mother did believe in God, of course. So of course, I know who He is. I know Jesus. I'm familiar with all those things. But I can't, I love to hear when people quote the Bible. And I know the devil knows the Bible too. But I still love to hear when people can quote the Bible. I can't quote it. I do, I have read the Bible. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm sorry. Had a little frog in my throat. I'm still waking up. Like I said, it's probably 7 a.m. Um, so I think I kind of sound like myself, but I might sound like Frank a little bit because I'm still, waking up. I was like, why not? Let's get on here and let's talk. But like I was saying, because I got my coffee. Yep. Um, but we did grow up in a household where we believed in God. We just for whatever reason didn't never attend church. Now I did go to church like with on Easter with my grandmother, um, and used to dress up and do the whole thing. So I am very familiar with the things that go on within church. Um, but and after a certain age, I realized like I'm only coming here on Easter, so that's not really. I think I might have been like 10 when I realized that, or maybe 12. And I was like, why do I only go to church on Easter? If I'm only going to church on Easter, I shouldn't. It didn't feel right because I'm like, I'm only celebrating on this particular day. When I knew people went to church like every Sunday, like that was a thing. Um, so like I like I was saying, I always believed in God. I've always um, prayed. I have never been consistent, but um, I've always tried to make sure that God knew that I was grateful for whatever I had um, or didn't have. I've always been grateful because it was a time, when you're younger, you're in your 20s, and I had my oldest son. And it was just, I was a single mom, just trying to make it through. And I did. And sometimes I can't even recall, like to this day, where the money came from to make sure I had gas in the car or, um, I always had a job, but, money was tight. I'm not going to say I got notices for my bills to get cut off, but it was tight. Like, rob Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. I've been in those situations for sure. But like I said, I've been fortunate enough and where I never got lights cut off or anything like that. But we were still within our own struggle. But as I've gotten older, and I have, um, as I've gotten older, I have joined a church, and I was going faithfully, and I still am a member of that church, but I haven't been since COVID. COVID happened, and COVID happened, and so then, of course, you kind of stray away, and I've never been consistent with reading the Bible or anything like that. So I will say I'm spiritual, not religious. And that to me just means I do believe in God. I know there is a God. I know He loves me. I know He protects me. Um, and that, you know, I need to pray and those things. Religious to me is something else. Religious means you are religious. Like you go to church, you read the Bible, you pray, you like it's daily for you. And that's what I like to think my sister is. She's the type of person, if she say, I was praying for you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I prayed for you, I believe her. She did. She did. She has walked with God for a very long time. So when she tell me that, I believe her. Or when she says that she did it for somebody else, I believe her. And sometimes when I'm going through something, she'd be like, "You want my church? You want me to tell my church group so we can pray for you?" Yes, I do. Thank you, sister. Please. So I would consider her. Uh oh, I'm sorry. Um, almost my feet. I'm adjusting my feet. I would consider her what I would call religious. Maybe you guys have a different definition of what that is. Totally fine. But when I think of those words, that's what I think of. But so even after COVID, I kind of I wasn't attending a church. I wasn't doing it online. I wasn't going in. But my sister kept telling me about Transformation Church. And oh, you gotta watch Pastor Michael Todd. You gotta do. I'm like, no, mm, I don't want to watch church online. I just felt like if you're gonna go to church, you need to go to church. You need to get up, get dressed, and go to church. And I wasn't doing that. Fast forward eventually I did start watching him and I love him. I just feel like he's relatable. And he is younger, so he is like I said, he's relatable. So I feel like when he is speaking, like I can relate to what he is saying, and he's saying it in a way where I can understand it because he'll read it and be like, let me break it down for y'all because y'all not hearing me, kind of thing. And I also like Pastor Keon. PK is what they call him sometimes. I think he is. I watch him online sometimes, and he's over Lighthouse Church, I think, in Texas. I think he's very good too. He's the one that's married to Shawnee O'Neal. Um, so every now and then, not every now and then. Is that how I want to say that? I always felt the need to get closer to God. I just never took the time to. Like, and I don't pray like when I'm in a bad situation, a desperate need. No, my praying is not consistent, but I do pray. Um, it might be this week. I might wait 2 weeks later. Um, just not being the person that he wants me to be. And that's basically always coming to him. So, over time, I'm going to say over the past couple of years, I realized that that's what I should be doing and needed to do. And my sister would always be like, it's January, we can ready to do prayer and fasting. I hear the word fasting and I hear you can't eat. And I'm like, oh, have fun. 21 days. Go ahead, girl. Do your fast. Let me know how it is. And I'll just continue to pray. But one day she just broke it down and was like, no, it's not like you eating lettuce and fruit and berries. Like you can follow, this is what I'm doing, but you can follow Daniel's fasting. You can do this. So, um, and let me go back a little bit. I started watching Transformation Church online. So I have been doing that for the past 2 years and I have been consistent with that. Um, because I do enjoy his sermons and the music. I mean, goodness, that one pastor can sing. Um, and it's been, putting a lot of things in perspective for me. So, like the topics of his, I want to say sermons, but he calls them something else, where he speaks about this one specific thing for several months. So, this year it's been focused and just teaching us what we should be doing. Lately, he's been talking about um, crashing out. So, everybody, and I'm like, oh, I need to watch this because, everybody's near, I'm near crashing out because I'm getting to my limit on a lot of things. And so I started watching, well, I've been watching, but he started talking about that series and things and stuff. And so, where was I going with that? I lost track, guys. So, um, but what I've also been wanting to do was get closer to God because there's a lot of things going on, and I just needed some answers. And my sister, we always talk, and in July they do like a fasting for like a week, and I did that, and I was talking about fasting and then the Daniel's fast, and I figured out, So to go back to that, in January, when they did the fasting for 21 days, I also did that. And You do it because God, okay, so don't kill me because I'm not going to say this correctly. So that God can speak to you and speak to you about whatever may be going on in your life or things that you may need to do. Mostly it's about what you may need to do. You need to just be still and hear his voice, right? So I did that in January and it was, I've never done it. I never done it. So it was different. And um, I struggled with it because so you hear God in different ways. Everybody hears him differently. So it may be something that you hear consistently, whether it's on TV or you could be talking to somebody and they say it. And when you do that, when that happens, that is God's way of speaking to you, right? So for me, my experience is a little bit different, and that's why I struggle because I typically don't hear when he speaks to me, I typically don't hear it through someone else or TV or whatever the case may be. It's me. So, so it's hard for me to believe that. I hate saying that. It's hard for me to believe that that's him speaking to me because I hear my voice. So, and I just always try to get an understanding of is it me going because and this is why I struggle with it because I'm a person that um constantly talks to myself, whether out loud or in my head. So, as a lot of women do, we're always running down the day in our head or the next step or the next thing. So, I'm doing that all day. So, to now say that I am fasting and praying and the things that I hear is God's voice, I'm like, no, that's me. So that's what I say when I'm struggling. And the other thing that I want to point out is that it may be my voice that I hear, but it is also things I know I wouldn't tell myself to do. So I'm like, well, that's how you have to realize that that's God speaking to you because you would never say that. You would never say those things to yourself. Like, I mean, and they're not bad things. I'm trying to let me see if I can think of something that he told me to do. But and they always feel uncomfortable. Like, and the thing too, the reason that another reason why I wanted to have a closer relationship with God is because I'm tired. I've been saying that a lot. Um, and I always feel like I have to be in control. And so my sister and I always go, it's kind of for fun. We always go to find our word for the year. And this year, my word was surrender, which is something that is, we go to this website and we just answer a bunch of questions about, how we're feeling and something else and some other stuff. I can't remember exactly everything it asks, but and then it gives you a word, your word for the year. It's a website that sells like Bibles and journals and stuff. I think it's called dayspring.com. Um, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But so my word was surrender. Last year it was trust. So okay, those words still come up. Um, so I am the thing I've been saying a lot is that I'm tired, and I struggle with surrendering and control because I feel like I always have to do, and I'm like, but who's not like that? I feel like I always have to do everything and plan everything for my life and my son and what's going on. And every little thing that I do has to be in an order or in control. Like I have to know what's coming next. I need to plan what are we doing so I can plan the next thing. Every single minute is planned, and I'm about to get emotional now. I'm just tired. So that was another reason why I was praying and fasting and also trying to get closer to God because I am ready to surrender and I just don't know how to do that. And that is going to be the hardest thing for me to do. So I have to clear my throat. Sorry. And along with everything else, you know, that I would like to do, I'm always trying to predict the outcome. Or if it goes this way, then we need to do this thing. If it goes this way, then I need to go this way and do this thing. And I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to figure those things out. Like I'm done. So my sister, every time I talk to her, she's out. The first thing she'll say is, "Well, did you?" We'll talk. Of course, she's my sister, so she's gonna have conversation and talk to me. But the first thing she's gonna say is, "Did you pray about it? Did you pray? Did you pray?" And sometimes I always forget, like that's the thing I need to do first, and I'll be like, "You right, sister. I need to pray." Um, one thing recently, uh, I was telling her about, and I beat her to the punch. I was like, "I know, I need to pray about it, and I am, and I have, and I'm going to continue to pray about it." But back to the way God is speaking to me, um, and I was going to give you an example. Okay, so for example, there is someone in my life, and I truly think that I hurt this person, and not like physically, just you know and not that I was super mean or anything, but I hurt this person's feelings. And I'm just like, whatever. And it was somebody that was close to me. And once I actually do it, I'll tell you guys about it later, more detail. But when I prayed and fast in January, God told me that I needed to apologize and basically write them a letter and apologize. I know I would never tell myself to do that. And I would not even think about doing it. F First of all, God just said apologize, and I think I said how. He said write a letter, and that was my first experience of God actually speaking to me, and I was like, "No, no, I don't." He wouldn't tell me to do that. He would not tell me to do that, and so I ignored it. Um, and I still see this person. I see this person all the time, and we're friendly. Um, and that's it. I have no hard feelings towards this person. I'm annoyed, but outside of that, I really don't have any, I don't feel no type of way. I could care less if you here or if you gone, right? I wish you well, but what you have going on no longer affects me. I don't care. Um, but that is beside the point. So then recently I did my nose feel look shiny. Recently I did prayer and fasting for I'm gonna say a week and a half. It was supposed to be a full 2 weeks, but I ran out of food. So the food part fell apart and I kind of stopped my fasting. I was still praying, but I was no longer fasting. But anyway, I did it for a week and a half, and that message came back up. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do it this time. So I'm going to eventually write a letter and apologize. And see, right now, I think it's just the wrong timing. See, it's not my timing, right? Things happen, and God was probably like, I told you to do it in January. And we wouldn't be, if you did it in January, this is me talking to me how God would talk to me. If you did it in January, we wouldn't be worried about this time and how the timing is right now because you would have did it back in January. And a lot of other things that you want to be doing, you could be doing, but because you didn't do what I told you to do, this is where we at. So I'm gonna tell you again, apologize. Or we're gonna be right back here where we was a year ago. Why? Because you didn't apologize. I said what I said. That's how God be talking to me. That's how I interpret it, right? And so um I still struggle with when I hear him speaking to me. And the thing is too, I don't ever get another message outside of that. So I still be searching, right? So let's say for instance, he told me to, apologize to this person. I'm still looking for a message outside of what I've heard in my head. So, where's the message coming from TV or from somebody else? Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't ever really get those. So, that's why I always question, like, is this really God's voice speaking to me? Or am I just, because sometimes I can be a little dramatic. You know, you won't ever see the, you won't ever see me being dramatic, but I can be extra. And sometimes I'm like, well, is that just me being extra in my head? But again, I always go back to the feeling of it's uncomfortable. And it isn't something that I would want, it isn't anything I would want to do. It doesn't make sense to me. So why would I do that? Why would I tell myself to do that? I would never say, uh, apologize, write a letter. I would never do that. Um, Something else. I didn't bring my journal in here with me, so I'm trying to think of something else that I want to tell you that he said to me. Um, as a parent, you always want to you always hope that, or even not even as a parent, just as a person that just wants to do good. You're just trying to live your life, but live it in a way that you are. It may not be. You may not be spiritual. You could be spiritual. So you're just trying to live your life the way that it should be lived. You don't want to do anything bad. You don't want to hurt anybody. You just trying to make your little coins, take your little trips, whatever the case may be. Um, Sorry, I lost my train of thought again. But anyway, so I was going to tell you something else that he told me to do. Oh, that's okay. I remember now, right? So you just trying to make sure you're doing the thing that you should be doing and doing it the best that you can. In my case, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm raising my son the best way I know how without which you should always be doing therapy. I don't care if you feel like you're the greatest person on earth, like you're fine. Everybody always has some trauma. I don't care what that, how big or small, you have trauma and you need to work through it. So everybody should get therapy. Even when you feel like you're doing better, everybody should do therapy. But so I always worry because I don't want to. I always be like, I don't want to mess my kid up. You know what I'm saying? I just want him to grow up and be a decent person. And he's dramatic. My youngest, I'm talking about my youngest, my 6 year old. He's dramatic and is has a very big personality, and that comes with a lot of emotions. So, since COVID, we've been throwing around all these words, and I'm just trying to get used to those words because now I feel like we use them all the time. You hear about mental health, and I do agree with those things, but it feel like it popped up out of nowhere, and now everybody's saying it. Everybody's doing it. Everybody has it. It's just everywhere. So I'm like, okay, where's the real between the fake? Or where's the middle ground? Why? It's just everywhere. So the mental health, and then kids are overstimulated, and then they have big emotions, is what we hear now, and that's just something that wasn't a thing back in the day. If you was having big emotions, you was acting bad. You was bad, so you needed to calm yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Or you was gonna get in trouble. So he has big emotions. So, I'm a different parent this time around. So I'm just trying to navigate that and figure it out. And I'm getting shout out to my millennial parents. I mean, because y'all, I really like y'all. Y'all really have changed the game on the generational, not generational curses, just Um, generational everything. So I look at my niece, and I have a friend that's a millennial, a couple of friends. And you guys as parents are like killing it. And I'm sure you want to crash out every day too. Because the way you guys handle your kids, sometimes I'm like, y'all too soft. But I admire it because these kids feel safe, they feel loved. I look at I don't call them my great nieces and nephews, but that's what they are. They're just my nieces and nephew. But anyway, and they are rambunctious, happy kids. And I see other millennial parents with their children, and that relationship is just different. So I think you guys are really good parents, and I wish that I was able to be that kind of parent the first time around. Um, but my parents are baby boomers, and I was raised in all that, so I didn't know any better. Um, my oldest son, he's fine. He is a great young man, but I wish I could have been a different parent to him. And to be quite honest, I was jacked up. Like I needed therapy to the 10th degree. It was, yeah. So I'm happy that he turned out to be the man that he is, because it couldn't have been easy being my child. One. So I say that all to say, I don't know, if I'm doing everything right. Um, because I'm dealing with a kid that's totally different from my first child. So the emotions and things like that, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Where is it coming from? So one of the things that God said to me was, you're okay. You're fine. Like you're doing okay. And so it kept repeating in my head like a broken record. It just kept repeating over and 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 over again. Um, and I was, oh, ouch, praying at the time when it happened, like just because I try to say, um, what do I say in the morning? Ah, I had it down packed. It's like, Lord, I quiet my heart, speak, and help me hear your voice. Yeah. Lord, this morning I quiet my heart, speak and help me hear your voice. So I just go into that mode and just try to quiet the noise and so that I can hear him speak. And then that's kind of one of the things that happened. And it was like, I didn't have a specific question. And that's how I went into it too. I was like, well, I guess I should have questions. Like, what do I want to know? What should I be asking? And initially, I didn't, like, I knew, but I wasn't, when I prayed, I wasn't asking those questions. But things were still, he was still speaking to me. So that answered those things. So, God knows. Um, and so that's what, in that particular time, I didn't have a question. So that's what came. It was like, you're doing okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. And I was like, oh my God, okay. It was repeating so much. I had, I want to say woke up, but came out of that prayer, stopped meditating. It's like a meditation for me. Um, and it still was repeating. And I was like, okay, okay, God, I'm okay. I get it. I hear you. I was like, it has to stop because it was, um, I wasn't expecting it, of course. And so it wasn't scaring me, but it was, I don't know. I guess I was surprised or I can't think of the word, but I was like, okay, okay, I'm okay. I get it. I'm okay. And so like with that, I believe that was God telling me that I was okay. But with writing the letter, I was like, no, girl, that's apologize. And I say write a letter, but he was like, apologize. I'm like, God, that's me. I'm being dramatic. Talking about girl, apologize. And he didn't say girl, but I'm like, that's me. Talking about apologize. No, girl, we ain't gotta do that. So I still try to get up every morning and do that same thing before I start my day. I also pray about surrendering because, I mean, it's still a struggle. I still need to work on that. But, it's a journey. And that's what I basically wanted to, kind of tell you my journey and me starting it. And I'm not on here acting like I'm an angel. No, I'm not. Um, my sister My sister hates when people be like, God knows my heart. Look, he do. And he know that I am a little off sometimes. And so, yeah. But I'm just trying to have a different journey. Like I'm over a lot of things. And I'm tired of caring. Like I want to care to a certain extent. Like I want to care. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to be rude or mean because that's always been kind of my thing too. I mean, unless I meet you with the same type of energy, but we ain't supposed to do that either. But I'm just saying that's kind of where I was. So I just um want different. I want a nice, calmer life and not what I used to have. Like, I'm tired of living the same life. I want something so different. And different all the way around. Different job. I'll get into that in another episode. But I like my job, but I just want to be on my own schedule. I don't want to wake up and have to be having to be at work at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? On somebody else's clock. Unless I want to be at work at 8 o'clock. That kind of thing. So it's not that I dislike my job. I want my own schedule. I don't want to have to clock in because you said that's what time I need to clock in, kind of thing. No, I want to do a lot of other things. So I'm in the midst of transition, and I felt like that started with having um, a better and closer relationship to God so He can lead. Because I feel like everything that I've chosen to do, as much control as I have, um, I feel like has not been the right thing. And I'm tired of choosing the wrong thing. I'm tired of that thing not working or that thing not happening. So that was another reason why I was like, this has to change. And this is how I change it by having that um, a better relationship with God and trying to follow His word and listen to what He is telling me what I need to do. And it's hard, it's uncomfortable, and it's scary because I'm a planner. And if you tell me to do this thing, then what's the next thing? Because I have to know. Like, if I'm doing this, then what's the benefit? Like, what's next? Why would I do this? There's no benefit for me if I'm doing this right here. I don't see, but that it's not for me to see. And so that's part of letting go of control. And that is so does anybody else have that struggle? That is so hard for me. Like I can't. And I just don't want to find myself in certain situations. And I'm like, well, if I'm doing this, then I'm a what? Like I'm gonna find myself in a situation I don't want to be in, right? Because what's next? Oh, you got another job lined up for me, or is my son going to a different school? I'm not understanding what's going on. Like, why? What? I so I'm trying to let go of that and just do what he asked me to do. But first, I have to believe that it was him, right? So I said that I was going to do the things. Um, I'm just scared and don't know exactly when I'm going to do the thing. Like I'm gonna do the thing soon. I'm not gonna wait another 6 months. Like he told me to write that letter in January, and now it's November, and I didn't write it for several months. I'm not gonna wait that length of time again. But yeah, guys, your girl's over here trying to start a new life and a new journey, and I'm struggling. So tell me about your struggle or how you hear God's voice. Let me know. Am I the only one that only hears my voice when he's speaking to me? How else do you guys? That's what I would like to know. You guys leave your comments and let me know. How do you hear God's voice? When God speaks to you, does he speak to you? I would be interested in hearing that information. Um, I'd like to hear those things. So, but that's all from me. Again, thank you for watching. Mika Unpacked. Come back and we'll talk again, maybe more on this subject. we'll probably talk about something else. I got a lot of things that I want to let you guys in on so you can, get to know me a little bit better. So, if you, like I said, please tell me how God has spoken to you in your journey, in your walk with God. Um, leave your comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.